My name is Emily. I live with my husband, Daniel, and our son, Ethan. Daniel and I have been married for 10 years. We had a happy life, or at least I thought we did. We owned a beautiful home with a garden, and Daniel was a dedicated husband and father. He worked hard to provide for us, and for the most part we were content. 6 months ago, we hired someone to help around the house. His name was Adam. He took care of the garden, helped with household chores, and sometimes looked after Ethan. Adam was quiet, always polite, and had a warm smile. At first, I didn't pay much attention to him. He was just there to help. One evening I came home late from work. Daniel was still at the office, and Ethan was asleep. Adam was in the kitchen reading a book. I sat with him and we started talking. He told me about his life, how he had moved here alone for work and had no family in the city. That night our conversation lasted longer than I expected, and something shifted. Not long after, Daniel had to leave for a business trip. He would be away for 3 days, leaving me, Ethan, and Adam alone in the house. On the first night we had dinner together, and after Ethan went to bed, Adam and I talked again. We laughed, and for the first time in a long time I felt seen. Then something happened. Kissed him. It was brief but intense. As soon as it happened I pulled away, telling him it was a mistake. Adam didn't say anything. He just looked at me. That night I couldn't sleep. Guilt consumed me. I loved Daniel, but now I had betrayed him. I told myself it wouldn't happen again. But a few days later it did. This time it wasn't just a brief kiss. It was real and I didn't stop it. My heart was torn between guilt and desire. I knew I couldn't tell Daniel. He would never forgive me. I tried to act normal when he returned, pretending everything was the same. But inside I was different. I had a secret that weighed heavily on me. Then, one evening, I discovered that I wasn't the only one hiding something. I found messages on Daniel's phone. Messages from another woman. My heart sank. He had been seeing someone else. At first I was furious. How could he do this to me? But then I realized I had done the same thing. We were both living a lie. That night I made a decision. I couldn't keep this secret any longer. After dinner, when Ethan was asleep, I sat down with Daniel. My hands trembled as I spoke. "There's something I need to tell you." He looked at me confused. "What is it?" Taking a deep breath, I confessed. I told him everything about Adam. The kiss, the moments we shared, and how guilty I felt. Tears streamed down my face as I waited for his reaction. I expected anger, shouting, maybe even for him to leave. But instead he sat in silence. Then finally he spoke. "I've been seeing someone too." My heart stopped. I didn't know what to say. "It started a few months ago," he admitted. "I didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And I regret it." We both sat there, the weight of our confessions pressing down on us. We had both made mistakes. We had both hurt each other. But now everything was out in the open, no more secrets. Instead of letting our marriage crumble, we made a choice. We really talked about what had gone wrong. We still loved each other, and we didn't want to throw everything away. The next day we let Adam go. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. We also agreed to go to marriage counseling. If we wanted to rebuild what we had lost, we needed to start fresh. The weeks that followed were difficult. Trust is not easily rebuilt. Daniel would ask where I had been when I came home late. I would wonder if he still thought about the other woman. But we were both committed to making things right. We spent more time together as a family, had honest conversations, and made a promise. No more secrets. Months passed, and slowly things got better. Ethan was happier. The house felt lighter. And for the first time in a long time, Daniel and I felt like partners again. A year after everything happened, Daniel and I took a trip together, just the two of us. We walked on the beach, had dinner under the stars, and talked about our future. On our last night, he surprised me. He pulled out a small box and opened it to reveal a new wedding ring. "I want us to start fresh," he said. "A new ring for a new beginning." Tears filled my eyes. I thought about all we had been through, the pain, the mistakes, the struggle. But now we had a second chance. "I love you, Daniel," I whispered. "I love you too, Emily." We put the past behind us and focused on the future. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that was all that mattered. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.